Hey, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Got another episode of Four Kings Podcast. I'm C-Mac.
LB.
It's Alvin.
It's Watts.
And we got a special guest here today. He's known as Short Stuff. He's known as Patches McGee. He's also known as Little Fella. He's related to me. So, so we got my uncle, Eric Hatch.
Just look down at his phone. Like,
Hello.
Hey, you find that too?
He forgot all his name. He forgot the real name. Just kept calling him all his names.
I mean, hey.
You got a lot of aliases, I see.
I got I've been around the block. Like I said, I'm an old head from Mo City.
Okay.
Yeah, Mo City, baby.
Old block and new block.
I'm a Woolly Ridge head.
Woolly Ridge, all right.
88 before y'all time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
Actually, I knew him before puberty.
Yes.
Okay.
It's true.
So I've been watching Alvin and Chris grow up together. So I've been knowing you for a while. And I've been following your podcast. It's a very good show.
All right, appreciate it.
I love your perspective. You know, you guys are doing great. And I'm just here to chime in on a topic that kind of hits home for me, probably for most Black men, period.
Absolutely.
America, right? So we just want to talk about some things that I want to get off my chest. And hopefully we can get the Four Kings experience and debatable conjecture to see if we support or we agree.
I like that word. Anytime you use a couple syllables with me, I'm feeling it.
That's a Fort Bend education.
That's Fort Bend?
Fort Bend education. Not that alien. Not that alien education. That's Fort Bend education.
Hold on. Don't talk about the apple real quick.
I
mean,
y'all came to us to make y'all feel relevant. Right.
We
didn't go to the Mo to make. We didn't go to the Mo.
No, basically what we did, we let go of what we didn't want, and they just went to alien. Right? Because pretty,
That's what it was.
You know, all y'all wanted to be from Mo City.
I'm support.
Oh, we need
So what happened to Ailey last week, though?
I moved to Ailey from South Park.
Okay. I mean, if we want to be fair, I moved to Ailey from up the streets. I mean, we want to be fair. Where actually do you stay now? Why did you try?
I say no more.
Most of the area, right?
I say no more, right?
Okay, you know quality.
Oh, you can go ahead and throw one of them up in there. That's where you're from. Throw one up in there.
So we apologize for the tardy start.
My bad.
A lot of technical difficulties on this end. We had a lot of unforeseen events happen, but the show must go on. So we're here, we're clear, and we're trying to get it in. So first things first, I had talked to both of y'all about the Derek Chauvin trial, and I told y'all like the basic amount of time he was probably going to get was probably going to be 15 years due to the fact that you had to prove that he intended on doing what he did.
Right. And
you really can't prove that he intended to do that.
Right.
So
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But
they got like 8 weeks to make that decision.
That's just
like
the term, right? No, it's 8 weeks when sentence.
Yeah, the 8 weeks is the sentencing, but he's gonna stay in jail.
He's gonna stay in jail
until then.
Right. That's just the date of sentencing that the judge had put down.
So let me ask y'all this, from because y'all are like, 30-ish, 40-ish range, right?
30.
Yeah, but y'all are in that age group.
Right.
Yeah.
Where really, well, the difference between my age group and y'all age group is like, y'all have a lot different perspectives on life, really, because y'all had the internet and all that stuff. So, you guys are totally mindset-wise different.
Yeah.
So people in my age group, elated that this happened, and we'll get back on topic. I just want to elated that it happened, but we don't think there's going to be a change.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's the whole thing of for those who we say we put in the positions to make the change. At the end of the day, most of them end up not being strong enough to stay on their laurels that they wanted to, that got them in those positions to force the change. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna put you like this, man. It took 400 years to get a conviction like this.
Right, but what I'm saying is like, as a perspective of, like everybody say, it wasn't justice, it was just accountability. So it's just saying, if we, you know what I'm saying, to hope for a change, it's just a hope for people that we put in these positions to stay strong on their law.
But you see,
that they said that they were going to do to stay strong.
So you feel more opoptimistic, is what I'm saying.
Not saying.
Right. I mean,
because we, at the end of the day, we putting this on people. We putting our faith in other people, and like life is showing you, man, people gonna fail you.
I mean,
Can we just be honest here?
People
We talking
gonna fail
about
you.
two different justice systems here.
oh yeah.
So, I mean, even when he get time, I mean, it's going 5 years later, we not gonna hear about it. He probably be out by then.
Hey,
And he gonna be, and when he do get locked up, let's be honest, he gonna be in the jail cell, away from everybody else, with TV, Wi-Fi, whatever he need.
Oh yeah.
So it's not gonna be technically jail for him.
And then, I mean, still people who think that he didn't do it because you seen what Brett Favre said.
No.
hey, bro,
Man.
look at here, man. Brett Favre, look at
Brett Favre on his podcast.
Look at Brett Favre, man. Like his whole perspective on things.
Well, his perspective was jacked up.
I mean, he thinks that politics shouldn't be in sports.
Right.
You know, he said
He
that.
said politics shouldn't be in sports, but he's sending dick pics to people.
Whoa.
You ain't know about that? That
So,
back when he was in Minnesota.
back to what we were discussing.
Oh yeah, that was kind of interesting. It's something like, no, who wanted to see his pickle?
Oh, he got an OnlyFans?
No. I'm saying like
Hey.
years.
So now we doing Green Bay OnlyFans, huh?
No, he did this years ago when he was in
got to have fans
Minnesota.
somewhere.
He was in Minnesota. He was sending pictures, this reported shit. And that, you see how quickly that got swept under the rug?
Oh
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I ain't even know about it. That's news to
But
me.
then at the end of the day, y'all remember the movie Money Talks with Chris Tucker?
Yeah.
You remember when he went to jail with Face on Love?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all I thought about when Derek went back in the back. Like, he gonna be telling this story to his cellmate.
For real?
They put their hands on you. You're not hot in you. It's hot. I know he gonna be telling this story. Oh, buddy gonna be listening. They put their hands on you.
Look, I'm glad we got a conviction publicly.
Right.
We got a conviction, but to be honest with you, it's a good feeling for 24 hours.
And it's,
I mean,
Because when you wake up the next morning,
you
ain't
back
nothing
to
changed for
reality,
you.
bro.
Right, ain't nothing changed for
Back to
you.
reality. And then the same
Mhm.
thing, the fact that like it's still trippy to where you think like, yo, this shit might not really happen the way we want to, and it's on video.
Mhm.
Just like with Eric Garner, like nothing happened.
Man, you name all of them. Shoot, they even erased the tape.
That's
and
a
said,
song
"Man,
that got all of them.
I mean,
And then
they did it to DMX's.
Ahmaud Arbery,
Yeah.
when they recorded him running from them.
mhm."
You know what I mean? So like,
So, yeah.
I got in on Ahmaud Arbery's, there's fucking audio of the old buddy talking.
shout out to Taranika for saying what's up, fellas. How you doing, Taranika? We just want to make sure you known and acknowledged. So what's up to you?
So, well, I mean, it's just been a crazy week, though. I mean, since, our show last week with friendship, and then, today our friendship was tested and everything. We're going to have to iron some things out when the camera go off. But other than that, I mean,
My money on JB.
on who?
My money on B. I got my money on B.
Oh, yeah.
You know the thing about people with hats on, once you knock them off, they lose their superpowers. So, I mean, it's a
So
wrap.
let's test that theory.
So anyway, just to talk about what we're going to talk about today, y'all. We're just kind of a little banter right now.
I mean, we did lose Black Rob and DMX. We didn't even do a tribute last week, but and Black Rob was like more or less after the fact. But we did lose some icons, and Black lives do matter. So I got to give it. They just do.
And I want to say one thing before you finish. So I know people are happy about the conviction, but at the end of the day, George Floyd's dead. So I really don't feel like people should be celebrating the conviction, which I understand they're celebrating the fact that he got, that Derek Chauvin going to jail. Justice was served, but I mean, what's really justice if somebody ain't here? He can't celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I mean, like his daughter.
yeah, it just
So that's the celebration of it.
But he's still not here. So it's like, even if you are
Nigga, you do this shit one more time.
I'm punching it down.
You do this shit one more time.
No, we told you turn it down before you came.
Hey, that's all right, bro.
Boy, that's that Missouri City education right there. That's that Fort Bend education.
Watch that a long day today. You know?
Hey,
Watch that a long day
Fort Bend
today.
education got me a couple degrees under the belt.
What college you go to?
Say it. Hold on.
No, I didn't know.
No, I went to South Texas University. South Texas University.
Where's that at?
It's locally here in Houston.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, I went to TSU.
I didn't know.
I went to TSU.
I was asking
Bro,
a question.
Texas Southern alumni. So don't
I did not know. So I gotta ask a question.
Nonetheless.
I should have. I was there at track for summer track camps on the summers.
Anyway, so nonetheless, today's topic is something that I feel like is going to be really, really important for a lot of kings, if you will. Because like I said, we're the Four Kings podcast and we're here for kings. So basically, let's get into it. Let's talk about child support. Woo! A lot of people don't, this is going to be a very touchy subject for some, and some people just need to, grit their teeth and get ready to hear this. But, I'll give a little feed or a little tidbit about what I have with child support. So basically, I interned at the child support office when I was in college. And so I saw the kind of games that they played, and it really, for me, left a bitter taste in my mouth, because often you have a lot of men who think with their other head and make some bad decisions.
Okay.
And then they have the result of having a kid. Well, when you have a kid in that situation, a lot of them want to do the right thing. But, when you lay down with banana cream pie, you end up with the fruits of that labor. And unfortunately, they're the first ones that, tend to run it to the people and try to put you on papers. Like sometimes it was a one night stand, it was a little dip type situation, side chick or whatever. But she got knocked up, and now she wants to sit up here and say, "Oh, well, you got to pay," and blah 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 blah, and is gonna out him to his old lady. And now he don't want to get out of this old lady, so he be trying to pay under the table to keep it on the low, but it don't ever play out that way. It just becomes a messy situation. But I seen him. A guy came in and he tried to put himself on child support, and it just did not go in his favor.
What do you mean it didn't go in his favor?
Man, so the standard thing is when you go talk to the folks at child support, they want to see how much you make, and then they want to take what
a percentage.
And typically, it was like
I can't wait. It's my turn.
Typically, it was like
20%.
It varied, but yeah. So you would have some people saying, well, when they get to taking 20% of your paycheck, well, 20% of your paycheck is supposed to equate to the 80% that it takes. And people were getting screwed. Like what I saw was when men tried to do the right thing, it didn't play out in their favor. But a lot of times you didn't have women that were on the opposite end of that stick. Like women were not the ones, I had one case that I probably touched on, and the woman was supposed to be paying child support and she wasn't paying child support. And the man didn't even trip about it. Like, yeah, I already know she behind or whatever, but it is what it is. I'm not tripping. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And so a lot of times you'll see that. And then but that's for me seeing it from that particular side. I mean, I've had female friends that say they don't want to use the system and they're going to do it on their own. But let's just face it. The majority of people that are involved in that are taking advantage of the system. And they're doing it because you don't have those benefits if you don't put the person on child support. Most women, when they put men on child support, they're eligible for a whole bunch of different programs, food stamps, daycare, Medicaid. Like, it's a lot of things that they have access to when they do it. So basically, it's the system is rigged for them to be able to do that. So that is what I experienced somewhat in a nutshell. I want to go on record to say I've never paid child support. I don't plan on paying child support. And it's cheaper to keep her.
Well, it's like saying nobody plans on getting divorced. But
it's cheaper to keep her.
No, it's not.
It really ain't, bro. It really ain't.
So, all right, so y'all had a pause. Everybody's watching on my live feed. 1 second, put the phone down so we can go ahead. So, the reason why I actually brought up the whole discussion, right, because it's just something I think that a lot of people swept under the rug when you talk to somebody who's been in a relationship or they one night or, you know what I'm saying, what'd you say, bumping bananas, what'd you say?
Banana cream pie.
Right. Whatever the case may be, right, in my opinion, and what I wanted to talk to y'all was, do you think the child support system is broke and outdated?
Okay, so I'm gonna be here taking notes because I'm the only person at this table who don't have children.
Okay,
so my perspective is not gonna be as jaded as everybody else's because everyone's gonna be talking about their own perspective.
It's not even jaded. It's not even jaded because it is what it is, right?
Right, but it's from your perspective though. You know what I'm saying?
You got a view on it.
Right. In my perspective, if you listen to what I'm giving you,
right,
it's something you can actually say yes, no, maybe about.
Right.
Because it's not exactly how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much, do you think the system is broken?
Based on the facts.
Okay. I want to give you some.
I'm ready. Let's hit it.
I'm getting some.
If we talking about that system as a whole, it doesn't work to me. It doesn't.
Okay.
Because for one, you got the system is designed where the man's gonna work the rest of his life, whether the next till the kid's 18. Even after the kid's 18, the man's still gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
The part I get mad at is that no matter what amount you give a woman, the majority of them is never enough. Which I can understand. It's two sides of the track. It takes a lot of money to raise a child. But then how are you gonna tell a man he gotta give the majority of his money and then to raise the children at your house? But then you come back and say, well, you know, he doesn't have money for this.
Okay, and that's my point of the system is broken. Because first of all, the way child support came about, right, where it was fundamentally the thing to do, was after women's rights.
Yeah.
When women started in the workforce, women started, and I don't have anything to do, I'm not against women's rights.
Correct.
Let's just get that open. Y'all are welcome to go to McDonald's with me, do fries with me. Y'all are welcome to wake up in the morning. That is fine. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I'm proud of a woman who go get hers. That is not what I'm here to talk about, right? What I am talking about is when child support initially started was because the welfare system could not fundamentally take care of mothers and children. So they introduced this right about the same time women's rights came around, right in the early 70s, when women really fight for their rights. It came out that we're going to support, because we can't financially, the system can't support financially these women trying to work and their children because of food, when you get food stamps and all these other programs, that was breaking the bank. So they said, well, let's fundamentally make the father or the other, make them support this child.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the whole thing came about. It was a great idea. You're just as responsible. You have a child as well. It's a great idea, right? Now, back in the early 70s, women weren't making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Back in the early 70s, women didn't have the same options as they do today. So this is where I'm introducing that the system is broken.
Because it didn't advance with.
So it should have been reevaluated.
It should have been reevaluated. So the way the system is broken is, again, off jump, child support is expected to be paid by the father, right? As a father, you must go to court to prove that she's just as valuable, right? And if you don't go to court, because men don't like, we take the least path of resistance. We don't want to go to court and call us, you know what I'm saying, like beg for my money.
Cause stress.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. So we just go ahead and accept it, right? How many times have you, if you're on child support, how many times have you gone back and said, let's check her taxes, see how much she makes? How many times have you done that? Right, because you're just like, I'm paying it.
I'm about to.
Right, you just saying I'm paying it and you just want to go on about your business, right? You're going to adjust. You're going to figure out how to make some more money or change your lifestyle, right? So it's fundamentally incorrect because women have the same opportunities as you do. So why are you being held at a higher standard than her? And on top of that, why do you have to go to jail if you don't pay child support if it's not a written law?
Exactly.
But
And it hits your credit.
And it hits your credit.
And it hits your credit.
Right?
They find every way to
I know that.
down.
And God forbid if you waiting on that stimmy check and they find that you owe, they gonna get theirs first. And who get that money?
You guys
the ones who got the kids with the extra stimmy check.
Yeah, there you go. Right? And your money for them is tax free.
Yeah.
You getting taxed on it. You getting taxed on money you don't see.
I guess my experience
is
I know that.
My thing with the system itself, for me personally, it ain't been bad. The child support system ain't been bad to me. It's just who I'm through it with. That's been the headache.
That's like 39% of all.
So it's not the system. The system and the resources that I've used with it have been very helpful and valuable to me.
Okay.
So on my end, I put myself on child support. And, you know what I mean? I went through, did what I got to do, and just tried to be amicable about it as best as I can. And then things happen and things like that. So as I went and talked back to different people within the system, I've gotten so much help from them to see what is the best path for me to go forward. So my experience with the system has been cool so far because I've been helped.
So I want to pose a question to, and anyone of y'all can chime in whenever you're ready. So I see on social media sometimes, because child support is always a huge topic. You know what I mean? Everybody got varying opinions about it, and I get that. So again, I'm coming from a perspective that I don't have children, so I'm talking to y'all because all you guys are fathers. Do you think that the child support money is supposed to be just for the kid?
Oh Lord!
Or is it supposed to help the woman? Because let me finish. But you know what I'm saying?
Difference between child support and spousal.
Because here's the argument I see all the time. The argument that I see all the time is that I still got to pay rent. I still got to do this. I still got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But on top of your money, as far as what you get for child support, now, is that child support is strictly for the child? Now, if the woman having issues with paying bills or paying this or paying that, does that fall on the fact that your maybe lack of child support money, or how does that work? Or how do you feel about it?
I mean, but you can still take that to the court and do what you got to do about it.
All right, so go ahead.
If you look at it, the money you give her or the other person, you really can't.
Because
you really can't control it.
Because the thing is, let's say, for example, if your payment was $300 a month. Now, $300. Now, again, I'm not a father, but Pampers, $300 is not going to cover no Pampers for a whole month.
Then you got to think about.
You know what I'm saying?
This is where.
And then on top of that, like food and all this and that.
He said $300 for Pampers.
I'm saying it's not going to cover. Like, if you're saying child support, how much is your money? How much is your money a month is going to cover what that person? Now, do you think that the woman should have her half of the child support money to help with, like living expenses for the child?
Youngs, yeah, go ahead.
Somebody saying where does the money go, and this and the third. Like I came to the fact to look at it. I look at it like my kids are helping their mother. I don't know what she did with the money.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care.
Right.
Now they get this help her.
Now they'll get to the point where they realize, hey, I haven't seen this. I don't know where this money going. Like I don't care what you do, but as long as the kids are taken
I know,
care of.
Sean, I'm gonna get that.
But my thing is, I get to the point where I hate when people say, where this is not enough. But people don't realize that if you tell a man that you got to give a certain amount of your income, now this man gives a certain amount of his income, you want more. Now you can't make just do with what you're getting, which is understandable. Kids take it takes a lot of money to raise kids.
Uh-huh.
On average, it's like what,
$36,000 a year? Is it 36 per kid?
Okay.
Yeah, I did the math. So, but you gotta look at it. You gotta look at the facts.
I thought it was 10 like roughly 10,000 per payment. So roughly like 20,000 a year.
All right, can I chime in on that?
Go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, it like your example of $300.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, that's not going to raise a child.
Right.
Okay.
But what if the court approves that?
Well, the court can approve it at all. They can approve up to 20% of the other person's pay.
Right.
Right. So it's a matter, because I wish I was paying $300. That's a whole other story.
Right.
Right.
Should have had your kids in Texas.
So what the money is for is basically for the support of the child in any deemed way necessary that the person receiving it decides to use it.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, right? Unless you paying celebrity money, right? Your money ain't really paying rent. Your money ain't paying, it might pay the electric bill, might pay the gas bill, but it's just to support in any way they deem necessary. Now, I'm not arguing that. That is not the point of us me even coming here.
Right.
My point is, if you are holding the person who makes more money responsible for up to 20% of their pay, what is going to make the other person responsible to better their life? Because you now have to better your life. You just lost 20% of your income.
75% of the people on child support work 2 jobs.
But, I mean, when it comes down to it, right? If you have, what you call it, banana pudding? What you call it?
Banana cream pie.
If you have a banana cream pie out there and, you know what I'm saying, and she's got 2 or 3 child support checks coming in, why she need to elevate her game? Why? The court is going to force you, whether you want to or not. Let's just say you're a CEO of a company, right? And that don't work out. You get, you know what I'm saying, you get 5 for whatever reason, and you end up working at HEB. And they can come and take you to court and say that you used to make this amount of money.
Hold on. Shout out to HEB.
Herbert E. Butt.
Howdy Butts. Booty. Go ahead.
Right?
Herbert.
So who's to say that she cannot go out there and increase her income just like you can? Because if we're talking about the equal rights, right? Women's equal rights, why are you held at a higher standard than her?
Because the system.
That's why I said the system's broken.
That's the thing. The women know once that system, not all women, but a lot of women know once that system is bagging them, they can slack. Now all of a sudden, you know, you don't went to college. I'm just using college as a thing. You don't went to college. Now that she has child support, now she going to hair school, trade school, and everything. And you know, you can't really say nothing about it, but at the same time, it's like you say, we get held to a higher standard, and it's at times is not fair because women look at it as no matter what amount of money you giving them, it's not enough. Which is, it might be true, but at the same time, they don't think that, okay, well, if you giving me $700 a month, I want it to be 1,000. Now you give me 1,000, you ain't got nowhere to live. Now she back up telling the kids, oh, well, your daddy ain't got no place to live.
And on top of that child support, right? Let's just say you get child support and you get your child every other weekend.
Yeah.
Right. On top of that, giving her the 20%, you're still responsible for taking care of the child in your
half a medical bill.
What okay? Yeah, because 9 times 10, they got to be on your insurance, right?
Yeah.
Got to be on your insurance. So my point is, there are states currently, Delaware is one, they have a phenomenal child support system. And the reason why they're so phenomenal is that they don't look at your pay, they don't do nothing like that. You go in there, you file for child support, immediate 50-50. No matter how much you make, no matter how much you make, it's 50-50. Equal time with you, equal time with her. If y'all have anything to do outside of in your house and in her house, anything outside of that, and like the couch, he want to go play soccer, we split that.
Is Delaware a red state or a blue state?
Blue state. It's blue state.
It's blue state? Okay.
Yeah. So my point is that it is possible to have and rear a child with equal support.
Yeah, of course.
Now,
I guess that's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So basically, we're talking about how the system is broken in the aspect
I know
of.
Tashana. I was going to say her name too.
We're talking about how it's broken in regards to us, responsible men doing it. But what about the people who aren't responsible that are not doing what they're supposed to do?
Now, we can talk about that too.
But
now, there are more men not supporting the system the way it should be, which still causes women to still rely on government aid to get through. Right. So in that case, and this is just what I'm saying, if the system was built more like Delaware and the father never shows up to get his 50%, that's when you're taking the court for his money.
Right.
Because that makes more sense. That, okay, you had the opportunity.
And you just
to raise your child. If you refuse to, you can't be found, whatever. Then you go for them and you get financial support.
Right.
Not from the jump. You don't know me from Adam. I got to go in there and fight and tell you, look, these are my bills. This is what I got to pay.
Exactly.
Right? And then they make a determination, well, we'll let you live that lifestyle. We're just going to take enough to where that's all you're going to live.
So, question for the fatherless guy here again. So, anyone can jump in on this too. Because again, I'm asking questions because I'm curious. I don't know. And maybe our listeners don't know these things.
Intro every time you ask a question.
Can I finish?
No, you don't. You ask me
What I'm going to do it any fucking way. Who go check?
You want to tell them the podcast real quick?
So what?
Tell them the podcast real quick.
Oh, Four Kings Podcast, ENT. Check us out.
We all we got.
All right, now Nelly gonna be trying to send lawsuits. Cease and desist.
So, question I offer to say. So again, curious. If let's say a woman has a baby by you or whatever, right, and then like you're not on child support initially, then maybe 5-6 years later she decides to put you on child support.
Oh, you don't want that scenario.
Worst possible
You don't want that
scenario.
scenario. You don't want that to happen.
So how does that work?
Oh,
And do they go back and get those?
They ask you.
Educate me, brothers.
No,
they don't ask you to ask her.
I'm not saying if you, but they'll ask her.
Wait. So first of all, it's this thing called back pay child support.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And you will be
they will ask you when you're doing your little mediation and stuff like that. They'll ask her like, would you want to put him in arrears? And they'll go through like
They ask her.
Yeah, they don't ask you.
Yeah.
See, that's how you saying you don't. So they can ask you like, you can put me in arrears, like
This is crazy.
so you gonna say yes as if I haven't done anything.
And then
So all
here's
those
the sad part.
Girl,
Here's the sad part. The sad part about it is that let's say you were one of those people who kept every receipt and everything else down to the T.
That's a gift.
It don't matter.
What
It's
I'm
a
asking?
gift.
It don't
It's
matter.
a gift.
Yeah.
What the tax write-off? What the heck?
You walk in there with a tablet,
I
a
know,
calendar,
but-
whatever
no.
you got. All they gonna say is put that to the side and give me your paycheck stuff.
Well, they'll just go through your
Damn.
That's all they gonna do. They gonna say,
The system. Look at this man don't have children. Look at the look on his
I think
face.
he should go to jail. Back
Right?
to support.
The system is broken. There's no reason why, right? You should suffer because, like Chris said, you can have all the receipts in the world. You taking care of your child,
Because
but she feels like you can do more. Well, look, I'm doing the best I can. Nah, you can do more. No, baby, I'm doing the best I can. You know what I'm saying? I get Homer every weekend. You know what I'm saying? I make sure Homer get to school on the days you can't. I'm there. I'm supporting. I'm there. You can do better.
Because I've seen out of spite that like a woman would, say you've been, handling business, y'all ain't together, but
you say that word again. Out of what?
out of spite.
Okay.
Yeah, out of spite.
Welcome to the
I've seen women,
Being
because I have friends, and I always go from based on what I hear, and because I don't have any personal experience, it's always
we
interesting.
know.
This damn album was just
You was about to get the whole.
I wasn't. I was just saying that. So you mean to tell me you've been taking care of this baby from 0 to 7? Y'all get into it, and all of a sudden, what? I'm gonna put Albert on child support.
You got to go to court,
And you gotta go-
Exactly.
You have to prove.
So
it.
You got to prove.
So are there any situations to where if she decides to put you on child support at the age of 7, that you don't have to pay in arrears?
Yes. No. Yes.
You can dispute that.
No. Here's the caveat.
Okay. So I'm taking notes.
So if y'all resided together, established residency, or you were married, from the moment you legally separate or she vacates the premises or you leave or whatever, that's the point where
They can go back.
to.
So they gotta live together.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, they know if you're in the same household, you're going to take care of your child.
Right.
So there's no discrepancy there. But from the moment she leaves and goes establishes residency over somewhere else, or you leave and establish residency somewhere else, that is when that time starts. And they can hit you with back pay from that point moving forward.
At one lump sum, or
No, it's added.
They'll split it up.
It's added onto your child support.
Right. And they split it up over the course of maybe a year, 2 years, however they deem necessary. So like it might be an additional $50 a month until you get caught up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Depending on the amount.
Yeah.
Right.
Welcome to the life.
But I mean,
Yeah, I want that life.
I mean, to be perfectly
Fuck that
honest-
life.
But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think is, you know what I mean, is as daunting as it sounds or as people make it, because it can work out to your benefit if you know what you're doing.
Okay, so speaking of that, so ask a question here. So when is you think child support is actually beneficial for both parties? If that's possible, because based on what I'm hearing, I don't know. So when is it beneficial to both you
I would
guys?
just go off of my personal experience.
Okay.
To maintain, you know what I'm saying, not have to go back and forth. You got this document, and like, if this one tripped, I let me go back and get you right because you tripping. Let me set you straight. So like, if with me, it's the whole thing of not having to do the back and forth and having to deal with that headache. Let me just go back over here. If you want to act this way, I'm gonna put this over here in your world. Remember when this happened? Run me my stuff real quick.
I mean, it makes sense to a certain degree. Like, you know, it is a form of mediation. It's just technically that form of mediation is not in the man's favor, but you have to make do with what it is. That's all you can do.
But like I said, for me, it's not as daunting as some people make it out to be, because at certain times when some people went through it before, they just didn't know what to do while they were in it. So it seems a whole lot worse when they don't know what they're talking about or doing as they're going through that situation. So if you do what you need to do, get your information from people you know or reading and going through it, it's not as bad as other people make it out to be.
And I'll say this: research in almost every facet of life is important. And when you are in a situation where you don't know or you're misinformed, you're always at a disadvantage and easily taken advantage of.
I mean, because you study for a test, you trying to work out and get better, you're going to research how to do that. So if this is going to change your life, figure out what you need to do and get a good knowledge base on it.
Right. So, I mean, from what you're saying, right, is basically learn how to best protect yourself in the system.
Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, like I originally said, it's the least path of resistance.
Right.
Right. Because without the knowledge, you just know and accept that she gonna take me to court. I gotta pay child support.
You don't accept your fate.
Right. You just go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I slaughtered the pig, I'm going to death row. You already know.
Cut the foot off.
Yeah. But the system again is still broke because you shouldn't have to defend yourself. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because if the system is there to protect the child, what is the best interest of the child, right? What is the best? It is not for me to pay. Exactly. It's not for me to pay. That's not in the best of the child. I agree 100%. If there's a situation where the other woman is primarily with the child,
right?
I can't take care of the child like you. I fly around for work. I'm not at home. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can't take care of the child like you. I totally agree 100%. You need to pay her child support. I ain't gonna argue that. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna argue that. The system is broken because it doesn't give the man an opportunity to prove himself that he is a father that can take care of his child. A fit father. It doesn't even give him an opportunity. Hey, look, bro, you made this baby? Yes, I did, sir. Do you live with it? No, I don't, sir. How much do you make? I make $40,000 a year. Well, welcome to child support. You about to, yeah.
Let me buy my needs.
So another question. So after hearing all this, and this is all for you guys, how can you make it, what would be an ideal system for child support, not to bash the woman, but an ideal child support that works for both the father and the mother?
Well, an ideal situation would be, in my opinion, an ideal situation.
What's an ideal situation?
Basically, like the way that it would be set up, if the child is with you, it's on your dime. Child with me, child on my dime.
I'm telling you, man.
But if you only got the baby on the weekends, then how was that fair?
No. That's just it.
You asking him what the best situation is.
And personal experience. I dated a woman who got a divorce, and her husband.
Long time ago.
Of course he did.
Anyway, so
yeah.
First of all,
go to Delaware.
So no, but I dated a woman at one point. And She got a divorce.
Okay.
She had 2 boys, and her and her husband had like a amicable agreement to where she really didn't want no bread from him or nothing like that. But they had it situated to where they stayed in the same area, so he couldn't just up and take another job to go somewhere else. They stayed in the same school district.
Right.
So he had he had the kids 2 weeks. She had the kids 1 week, and they alternated weeks every other week, and then they alternated holidays. And I don't even think there was child support established between them. It was just like, you pay what you pay. You pay when they with you, I'll pay when they with me. And if we have something in between, we'll work it out. We'll work together. Because when you make it a long, drawn out situation, I mean, the only people that truly suffer in this situation are the kids.
Exactly, and that's the whole point.
And to be perfectly honest with you, if you want to get a reference of child support, it'll be, as an adult now, watch Miss Doubtfire.
Wow.
Watch Miss Doubtfire.
It's always one, right?
Watch Miss Doubtfire. What happened in that movie? He got a divorce. He had to go and fight for his children. He had to dress up as a woman to get a gig to see his kids.
In a roundabout way.
You know what I mean?
So
to answer your question, right? Basically, what's best for the child?
What's best for
the child is for both parents to be totally 100% active in that child's life. When the establishment of child support usually comes along, that one of the parents is in more control of that child's being, right? Their day-to-day being. You cannot be, and I say this all the time, I'm not a weekend dad. Even when I was put on child support, I'm not a weekend dad. I'll never be a weekend dad.
Right.
So what? She getting X amount of dollars, and she was living very well, very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't care, right? People say, "Oh my God, she need to be doing that. She need to be doing this. She need that." You know what? My responsibility is to those kids. Right. So I don't care what she do. I'm still going to be an active father.
Correct.
Right. Not everybody can be in that financial situation where if I give her this amount of money, I can be as active. Right. So what's best for the child is for, like the state of Delaware, and like he just said, for both parents to come up with it. This is what's best for the child. Right. If you have that child and they're living this kind of way, right, and you know when they come to me, they're living this kind of way, well, what's best for the child? Okay, well, then you can carry on with your life. You can go to school. If you're going to school, I'll help you out because that's what's best for the child. You can get an education, you make more money. That's a working unit. That's a team working together for the betterment of the child. That's the ideal situation. But again, like he said, there are situations where the fathers just don't show up.
Yeah, fathers, yeah.
Right? And father would rather just go ahead and pay the money and leave the child to be.
And they're the ones who make it bad for
the active fathers. So
basically, you have fathers who don't step up to the plate, and then it builds into it really turns into something that it really shouldn't be, because you really find out the dynamics in raising children, how valuable it is in having a mother figure and a father figure playing a very key part in their development and growth. And when you have that absent father figure, and let's just say, and I hate this one. So some of these men will slip up, have a kid, and don't want the kid. And don't want the kid, but will pay the child support to be like, look, I'm paying you child support to leave me alone. Like, I'm paying you child support to take care of that kid. I didn't want the kid. I told you had an abortion, but no, you didn't want to do it. You don't want to take the plan B. And then, a lot of stories about people poking holes in condoms and stuff like that. But nonetheless, that makes it bad because, look, even though she decided to have this kid or this kid came about, you still need to play an active role in raising this kid. Because now with the absentee father figure, that's when you have the streets get a hold of them, and then they no matter what happens, they're always longing for that father figure. They find it in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it be the type of men that they date, and I'm talking about girls or boys, whatever.
Men that they would date, the men that they will hang with,
right?
The decisions that they make in general. So I mean,
that makes sense.
Like with mine, I'll give you an example. Like with my son, like I remember one day his mom was talking about he gets a little afraid of me when I use a stern voice. I don't raise my voice to nobody, but the tone will change.
The decibels get low.
The tone will change.
The tone, okay.
So in my mind, it's like, what do you mean that you're getting afraid because you're getting in trouble? You getting mad? You getting afraid of that? But as his mom, you should tell him like, yo, like sometimes somebody gotta calm you down, pump your brakes real quick, man. It ain't all like I'm not yelling at you. I'm not. Oh, come here. Hey, man, let me holler at you real quick. Come here, because that's what I tell myself. Let me holler at you real quick. He knows.
Yep.
So as his mother, you back me up on that part.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of trying to get more brownie points on your side.
Yeah, because that also happens in the child support situation.
Right.
Yeah, in the child support situation, the father sometimes will play I'm the good guy. And the mom has to deal, basically opposite of what you're saying. Most of the times in child support situations, right, the dad will get the child for a weekend and buy him McDonald's, take him to the park, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just a weekend, right? You're going to get as much fun as possible.
Right.
So then the dad becomes a good parent because the good parent always, you know what I'm saying, we always doing fun stuff. And then I got to go back to mom. She's the disciplinarian because she's taking care of him.
Right.
So then it always comes back to, you know what I'm saying, I raised this child, you know what I'm saying, because you were just a weekend dad. Again, the system's broken because if he had the same and equal responsibilities, he'd be pissed off at that child just like she pissed off the child. He'll understand what it takes to raise that child just like she understands to raise a child. So the system is broken from the jump. Why does he have to just be part-time when, let me see what I'm like full-time first? Right?
Give me your shot.
Right.
You give me a shot. You'll hire somebody and qualify
right.
for a job.
And then even back it up further, right? Women have now actually more education than most men.
That's
They're college educated, right?
Very much so.
So, say that again.
Women
very much
are more college educated than men.
I cannot concur with that. What I will say is that it's a lot more of them graduating than it's more women graduating than men. But the only real reason that is because women severely outnumber us. And then we've talked about this before about how a lot of black men have plight on their plate from jump. We don't even get to make it out of the situation we in to even be able to go to the scholarly route. Too many of our peers have picked up criminal records before they even got a chance to even go to school. So you can't even really better yourself because you never even got a chance to get out of your environment. So they have a leg up in a sense where I think Texas at one point they were saying women were like, it was 13 to 1 man, 13 women to 1 man.
Oh, I don't know.
And at one point it was 13 women to 1 man. So now think about it. You have
that's a whole lot of banana puddings.
So now you have an opportunity where they outnumber us 13 times. Like, so of course they're going to be the ones. They're going to be the ones graduating more, but
just because they outnumber don't mean they're graduating more.
Bro, if I've got
how many bosses have you had that were women?
I've had quite a few.
Quite a few.
Right. So that means they're graduating. So it doesn't mean that there's so many more.
Back to the
what he's saying is like
how many people have not graduated, just attending school?
Yeah, but the argument
smart motherfucker.
Right, but the argument isn't
the
argument isn't the plight. The argument that I'm trying to say is that women have the same accessibility to make money. Maybe again, I'm not arguing the fact that they don't make the same amount. No, we still working on that. Right, equal pay, equal rights.
Right,
I'm still working on that. Right, but there's no reason why if you look at me and I make more than her, that I got to give up my more for her.
Right.
And that in turns makes me have to work more to make up for what I lost.
Right.
There's nothing pushing that mother to want to do better unless she just in her heart wants to.
But that's the way the system been in like for our entire lives. Because like you think about it,
bro, that's since 1975.
Like I'm talking about just not just women, but just people in general. Like we've been pushed forward our whole lives. Like teachers don't let people flunk. I mean, it's very rare that teachers can flunk because again, schools want to be exemplary.
What are they doing?
They want to be exemplary because that's where the funding comes from.
Says the teacher.
What I'm saying is when parents want to send their children to certain schools, they want to send them to schools that are exemplary, meaning students are passing, students are learning, things of that nature. So a lot of times those kids get pushed forward. The kids who got a 70 on their report card probably failed, but the 70s are passing grades. And then you think about it, if you've been pushed forward your whole life without, people been cheating on tests, people been, pushed forward because they don't have to study. Or what's number 5, bro? C. Okay, so then they transitions to college, and then the transitions until you become an adult. And when you're an adult, now the government's helping you. So you've been helped your whole life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that just women, like let's take accountability too.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying we've all been pushed, not all of us, but we've been pushed forward our whole life based on just, people just saying, hey, just give them that, and the government same thing. So why would I want to work harder if I always got this crush to fall on?
Man, look,
you know what I'm saying?
You're talking about the whole, not again, whole another subject, y'all. I can always fly back for that one. Also, next time I fly down here, y'all need to write that off in your taxes. Somebody pay for my ticket. I got you, bro. I just want to make sure.
I got you. I'm not going to announce my move, so I'm moving inside.
I got you, man. No, but that, again, right, he's talking about the system is always available to take care of your child support, welfare.
Yeah.
The system is always there to take care of you. You just got to find the right system.
So it works.
That works in your favor.
We always
again, I'm not here to argue that, right? Because I do believe child support is a necessity for, what do you think?
Nah.
Hey, y'all, we on Four Kings podcast. All that, I'll put the link in there.
What's happening?
Y'all should watch these young cats. They good dudes. All right, so back to, I'm not saying the system, there's always a government system to help somebody, whether it's a grant, whether it's a loan, it's always a government system. That's what the government's supposed to do.
It's a government system for everybody but the black man.
Again, we're going to spin off and talk about other stuff. Oh, no, they'll help your black ass.
That's to the extent.
To the extent that if you want to help the government or the state, you can go to prison, you can go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You will be free labor.
Make a bunch of life.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? No, they can find a system for you that'll work. You don't want to work.
You won't like it.
Yeah, you don't want to work. You don't want to be responsible. We'll put you in jail. Well, I tell you when to eat. I tell you when to sleep. Right? I'll give you a job, whether you like it or not. You're going to learn how to take care of yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to end up in a real bad situation in jail. You know what I'm saying? But back to the whole point of everything is that, the system is there. I also do this fact out there. Did you know that in most states, right, you send your money to the state before they pay out
the other parent?
Do you know that they put that into a bank account and they make money off of that?
I didn't know they make money. I know.
Did you know that they take your money that is taxed by you? Yes. And the state makes anywhere up to some states. Some states make up to 60 cents
on the
off the dollar.
Damn.
That's why they so quick to put
60%.
That's why they quick to put them
prison.
That's a business move for them.
God, dog.
Say it again. Let me see that on my face.
Man, that.
No, so the system is totally broken.
God.
It really is, and it's something that needs to be revisited. It's something you talk about. Now, there are some organizations out there that dads have gotten together.
Yes.
There are some organizations out there that are willing to help you out in a situation of divorce, child support, and stuff like that. Right? They're out there. It's rare and it's hard to find. Right? And believe it or not, I reached out to a couple when I was going through mine, and they were slammed packed. Like, we can't even look at your case for another 3 months. So it's out there, right? It's out there. It's available for you to find that education, like you were saying, to get that support. But a lot of fathers just accept it and they just ride it out. And when they accept and ride it out, you ain't doing nothing but supporting the system.
And hurting yourself. Man.
And hurting yourself.
Man.
So that's the whole thing. But it's totally broke, right? Like, Alvin, I know you dealing with your situation, right?
Yeah.
What if she turned around tomorrow and was making twice as much as you?
Whoa.
Hold on. We talked about this. We talked about this. No, my situation. Talked about mine. Mine does what? Does make more.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
She does make more and is married with a new child. So, some things got to be revisited and re-brought up.
So
that's a word.
And in that instance, what happens is he can ask for his payments to be adjusted because she now has another income in the house. And if you're married, they assume that you assume responsibilities. Once again, this is your dwelling. You're not anything that you put into this household as far as income. They were like, okay, it's not just going strictly to your specific child. It's going to both children. So yeah, you can get a little bit of a little break on that.
So question.
And a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
That is not in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That doesn't mean nothing. Just want to let y'all know that.
Well,
Depends on your
Virginia,
state.
though.
Depends on your state. Just let you know.
I'm going up there.
So is it hard to get that adjusted? Because I know it's easy for a woman to get child support, but is it hard to get it readjusted?
Like the devil taking a shower.
That's a good one.
I think yeah. You had that one. I got a lot more. I got plenty more.
Write that one down.
As a man, the only thing they want you to see when you come they want you to have when you come to the office is your stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. They don't want nothing else from you.
Dang.
They just want your stuff. You can have calendars.
Yeah,
you can have pictures.
they ain't
They ain't asking for nothing but your check stuff.
And on top of that whole thing, right? On top of that whole thing, you can
My judge might online.
if you say, and like you said, you can produce, well, I do this for the child, I buy the kids clothes, is that another? You know what they call that?
What?
A gift.
Yeah.
Gift.
You gifting your child.
Gift these hands.
Yeah, it's totally broken. I appreciate y'all, letting me get that off my chest. I feel about.
You feel about 58 pounds?
No, I feel like I
breathe
lost
a
some
little.
pubes on that one. I feel a little bit lighter. I do. Yeah, I appreciate
I
that.
think this it's broken, but I mean, it's nothing that works in the man's favor.
Shit sound as bad as Urquhart.
Huh?
Shit sound bad as Urquhart.
Well, close to it.
Damn.
You got Wheelchair Willie in the office too, so he don't really care. But my thing is,
Hot Wheels leading the way.
the system is women don't understand. Well, I'm not gonna say all women don't understand, but to them it's never enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's two sides. So I look at it from both perspectives. I pay child support. I know that this certain amount might not be enough to help the child, but then at some point you got to look at it like, okay, well, this is what they tell me to give you, but it's something you're gonna have to make do. If it's something extra, I can help.
Mm-hmm.
I can try my best to help.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's something that women got to realize that this is gonna have to make do.
But once again, and a lot of people are, because of the bad experiences in helping, and the experiences of helping, that you have a situation where you like, well, when they had the surgery, when they did this and they did that, and I helped out, it was a gift. What? But I'm helping out.
I don't understand this gift stuff.
So,
I mean, this ain't Christmas.
So, I mean, basically, a lot of people who pay child support, that's why a lot of people end up saying, well, I'm paying what I'm paying and that's it. I'm not doing anything extra, because you typically end up getting burned by that. Like, they don't take that in accountability. My friend, I'm going to another story. Childhood friend, we know. He was paying child support, and I felt bad. I told him said, we were in college, or like we just got out of college, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had told me that he put himself on child support. I said, bro, why did you do that? He just got to the point where he was tired of her threatening him to put him on child support. And he said, well, screw it. I'm going to take the power away from you. I'm like, no, you played right into her hand, because he had a kid with her. They were not married. And they,
but wouldn't it have been better for him to do that? Unless when she made true on one of those threats, and then come back for back child support.
No,
man.
You never. Okay, so I hate to say this. If you were to ever put yourself on child support, You don't go down to the child support office and put yourself on child support. You don't go until you get an attorney, because your attorney is going to advocate for you in child support regulations.
Yeah.
If you just go down there and say, well, yeah, I'm just going to put myself on child support. You know, I'm tired of doing it. What do you say they want?
20%.
No.
Check stubs.
No. Stubs. Yeah. Can we get them stubs up at you? Oh. Okay. Well, he was paying $700 for one kid. $700.
I know you.
Is that a large number? Is that a small number?
For one kid? Yes.
I don't know.
Just think if you got $700 a month.
But is that enough to take care of the kids' things for a month?
But you got to realize this is my whole point with it. Everybody always say, is that enough for a child? You got to make do. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but if child support is giving you this certain amount, and you got to look at some women don't think smart with their money. Okay, well, I'm getting $500 a month. That's all the court is advocating me to get, $500 a month. Now, you went and bought a new Mercedes-Benz that cost you $700 a month. Now all your other bills are behind, but now you're not getting enough on child support. And that's what my problem is. And it's like, if I knew I was getting, if I had my kids fully and I'm getting $700 a month, $800 a month, then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sit myself down and I'm going to look, okay, this is what I can afford, this is what I can afford, this is what I can afford. And if I need something, then I go to the other person. That's never the case. That's hardly ever the case. Most women be like, okay, $700 a month. I'm gonna go buy this house that's $1,600 a month. I only make $10 an hour. Hold on. But now that I can't catch up with these bills, he's not giving me enough.
So let me add to that.
So lifestyle.
So just like he said, they can adjust. They can go and adjust yourself. So let's say if you paying $700 a month and they see that you come and get a new car or something like that. We're going. Can we review? Yeah, because I think he make more money and he ain't report.
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah. And on top of that, she doing that same situation. She getting $700 a month, and she got a she driving the Benz, right? But not. And you go and say, hey, she driving the Benz. I think she not using the money for the child like supposed to. You know what they're gonna do?
Right.
Okay, we'll review the case.
Okay,
bring me a check stub. So not only, right, they'll tell you can't tell her what to do with the money because that's in support of the child. That might be the only means of it, transportation that they got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't say what to do with that money because that's still in support of the child. But whenever you go and question anything you want to go to court, guess what they're gonna ask for?
Check stubs.
Dubbing.
Damn.
Check, please.
It's funny because you mentioned something earlier.
You should, but I mean, a lot of people got to do it.
A long time ago, and we was talking about child support. She was a female, and we was talking about child support, and she was complaining. She was like, "Well, it's not enough." I think she was getting like somewhere around $600, and I say, "Okay." I say, "Well, why isn't that enough?" She was like, "Well, I'm trying to buy me a new house. I want a 2-story. You only got one child." I say, "Okay, well, 1 2-story is your life."
Right.
And so she was like, "Well, no, he'll never give enough, and he always working." And I told her, I said, "Well, you know, that's how the system is designed. And now he always gonna have to work." I said, "You don't work, you get $600 a month. He don't work. A few months later, he'll be in jail." So, and like I told her, I said, "Well, why don't you do 6 months here and 6 months there?" You know what the first thing she told me? She was like, "I could not afford to pay him $600 a month." And I was like, "Wait, he's supposed to scramble and afford to pay you $600 a month, but you can't do it reciprocating on the other end." No, because that wouldn't be right. I should just take care of the kids.
Whoa.
And a lot of women have that attitude.
That is the attitude for a lot of them from jump. I'm the mother. This is my child.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they feel like, okay, well, you can't take care of them like I can.
Men got to prove that they worthy.
Exactly.
Women are just worthy because they gave birth. And that's a whole nother topic.
And then back to the whole thing about gift. So this same friend was paying the $700 when he lost his job. He was paying her straight cash so he would stay current.
It
don't go
because they started taking out that.
It didn't matter because he didn't go through the system and he paid it to her and she never
reported it.
If she didn't report it, well, that was just a gift.
No, you better come off to 700. I mean,
You can fight that in one. That's why I want to talk to y'all. The system is broken.
Child support is the state's way of making money.
So
the state makes money off. I mean, whenever there's a transfer of money, somebody getting the cut.
Exactly.
So for anybody listening to this, and obviously the system is very broken, and someone may be asking, well, how do we fix it? Where do we go about fixing it? Do anybody know where do we go about fixing it? Or maybe advocating, petition? What can we do to get this voice out for people who are going through these things?
Well, first of all,
legislature.
That's it.
First of all, in order to bring it to light, you have to actually get the lawyers together to actually petition
Correct.
and take this somewhere.
Okay.
Right. So
because somebody needs to hear this.
The big thing is that there's not enough money to actually sit down and fight this as a whole.
I mean,
it can only be really at this point fought case to case because it's just
Yep.
not enough money
Yep.
to go in and fight the child support system. It is literally, and just to throw numbers out there, right? This is from the 2020 consensus, right?
Mhm.
It's literally 49% of women on child support that are primary custodial parents. 49%. Now that number actually went down, right, from the last consensus, right? Men are actually getting more custody of the children, but 49% in divorce cases, women are primary custodial, right? Then they got like another small amount where it's equal, and then there's another small amount where the father can't be found. That's a whole different category.
Right.
So you cannot actually go to court and say 49% of these women who are might be struggling with their little $300 a month, let's take that away.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. You can only at this point fight it case by case,
Right.
until a big name, and like I feel sorry for some of these
athletes, right?
I feel sorry for these athletes because they honestly probably really
Like Kenny
deserve
Smith.
it. Right. So like
Kevin Garnett.
yeah, but in all honesty, can that father who is an athlete, right, his job is to stay in shape, work out, you know what I'm saying, play these football games on the weekends when you're supposed to be weekend dad, you can't play, right? You can't do it. So off the jump, these athletes are screwed because they know they can't 50-50 this child. Not during
Somebody said money orders.
no, that'll work.
Even money orders don't work.
So I mean, from the jump,
At one point it used to, but it don't. They threw that out.
when you can't as an athlete, if you got your banana pudding, you done. It's a wrap.
So I mean, even though we see these astronomical numbers when the athletes pay, it's still technically 20%. So they're still considered fair.
So that's different. So
Because
no, that's different. When you get to a certain figure,
income
level, right? It's no longer your 20%. It's lifestyle.
Yep.
That child needs to maintain the same lifestyle as when you.
You know, when rich people get divorced, a lot of people
spousal support.
Spousal support is so high because you provided this lifestyle that person has become used to. So you have to keep that lifestyle up for them.
So what if she was rich and you wasn't rich? And does he get spousal support?
Okay, so what now? Halle Berry.
Oh yeah, Halle Berry.
Britney Spears.
Kevin
Right.
Federline, he
yeah.
So in some cases,
it can happen.
And you want to see a pissed off woman, right? Smile on her face and tell her that's good for him. Hey, I'm glad she got that money. Right. Well, you want to piss a woman off? He ain't deserve that. That's her. No. It's a broken system. But that in turn, when you start making a certain amount of money, it's the lifestyle.
The lifestyle.
Right. I was caught up in a similar situation where I had to continue the same lifestyle for the children when that in my care and in her care. Right. And it hurts. It hurts because she might not use it the same way you use it.
Right.
She may use it on something different. Right. So that's the part that hurts. Right. Especially if you being a weekend dad, you go above and beyond and you taking care of your kids outside of your weekends. You know, you there during the week. You know what I'm saying? The system's broken, man.
Take care of your children.
Word life. Word life.
That's what it's about.
So I mean, we got a lot of people watching, but I'm trying to see if we had any other questions, anything like that. But
I just want to respond to somebody in the group. I forgot the name already.
Scroll up.
Oh no, that was it. Right. So it's Lorena Ellis.
I figured that's who it was.
Right.
I heard what she said.
I don't know if she's still watching. Right.
Probably.
So Lorena, Ellison, her comment was, y'all need a woman's perspective. Too many men for this topic, right? And see, that's where a lot of women want to get involved to tell you their perspective and their point of view, because they may have a story to tell.
Right.
They may have a story of how bad he was. He did this to me. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the system. So if you mean to tell me you want child support from him because he was a bad father, I ain't argue that.
Right.
I don't think anybody here argue that. He a bad father, you're right.
Right.
That has nothing to do with it. But if that man is there Monday through Sunday, is it right?
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah,
If that man Monday through Sunday is there in support of that child,
7
yeah, I have to
7 days.
Yeah.
Right. But if that man is there Monday through Sunday,
Hey, money.
yeah, you gotta support being people.
yeah. But I mean, if you got somebody and somebody got a story
You know how
like
many
that,
most city niggas out of whoop?
what's that? Wait, what?
He want to test my undefeated streak.
Nah, go ahead. What you're saying?
No, so it's not that we need a female perspective, because we can hear a female story, and if she had a bad story to tell, right? Exactly. If he can't be found, you know what I'm saying? He whatever. You're right. Get him, girl. Right, get him. But if he's an active father and he's there,
don't make life
from
hard.
Monday through Sunday, you can call on. Hey, he need this.
Don't make
Right?
life hard.
Then that should never come up to the point where I need to pay her or he needs to pay you, right? Because if it's equal, he's just as supportive as you, then he should support you in your education. Hey, you going to school on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays? I got him, right? Because that only supports the child better. But usually child support is used as an anger, right? I'm going to get his anger. I'm going to get it. Vengeance is mine, said the wife. I'm sorry. No, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Right? It just don't work that way.
Right.
Yeah, that's
the one that didn't make the Bible.
I can agree. I mean, I can agree with
past Thessalonians or something.
If he's active in doing his part,
be a dude.
Hey,
I mean,
good work.
the
Right.
ones that ain't, then that's the few bad apples in the bunch.
Just make it hard for the ones who are trying to continue and be that figure in that child's life without the animosity or the static between the parents.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just like how we always say, like, bam, how they say, not all cops are bad.
Right.
Not all fathers are bad.
Yeah, not all fathers are bad.
You know what I mean?
Not all cops are bad.
All right, so Samantha Fuentes. Okay. So she says, like, I don't get child support and he ain't there. Baby, then you deserve child support.
Yeah, you definitely do.
You do.
That is not the argument that we're having. I prefer to have it. Girl, you right. You would prefer to have that father, but if he ain't acting right,
you get
him
right. Get him right.
But she agreed, said the system is messed up. So
yeah. But
but
Samantha Fuentes,
they can find him. If you can't find him, they can find him.
There are plenty of people on the internet that can find him wherever he is. You can go find him. He can be found, Samantha.
I think the women who don't agree that the system is messed up are the ones who benefiting from it.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Say what?
Okay.
What?
I think the women who don't believe the system is messed up are the. All right, yeah. All right. So I think the women who benefit from the child support are the ones who are not complaining about it. They're going to be the ones who are going to be defending it. They're going to be the ones who are saying that, y'all tripping, or, they're not looking at it holistically, and everyone just pretty much share their perspective on how this affects people and how he has to come up with extra money, extra things for that. And if we're talking for people who are actively in the kids' life, we're not talking about the deadbeat dads, the dads who don't want to be there, the dads who sometime in.
That's the first thing.
Right,
we're not talking about.
We're not talking about the guys who's not involved, who doesn't pay anything, who comes around once every leap year or some shit. We're talking about the guys who are there.
Oh yeah.
Gee, right.
Because Samantha ain't seen him in about 6 years.
Wow, Samantha, I know it ain't been 6, maybe 5.5.
No. 6 años.
6 años. Okay.
So,
the Alvin education came through.
The Alvin?
Not Alvin ISD.
And that's Most City for you.
I mean,
Alvin education came through.
Alvin and A-League, they both
No.
struggling district.
I think it's
I'm right and wrong, man.
hold on. What school district you work on? If you can mind, you can do it.
Still above. Hey, Lee.
Where?
Look at the top.
Where?
Y'all scores.
Oh, because we got 3-4 schools. Y'all got 1,800.
That's even better.
So,
I got a bigger sample size.
That's the 99% of y'all students live in the man.
Oh, wow.
Okay, fuck that. Wrong.
Smart
We
village.
shall not talk about Missouri City in my presence.
Thank you.
I'm a Missouri City legend. I'm
What is the
scared to
Missouri
death.
City legend?
What is a Missouri City legend?
Please.
JP, what's good? I see you chimed in, my boy.
Oh, Jay Pizzle. Pierceville.
I'm a
In
Mo
the
City legend.
building.
A Mo City legend is somebody who ran it, who lived it, who breathes it, who walks it, who talks it. I'm a Mo City citizen. Okay?
So, most city citizens, them niggas that just
ain't them niggas, because there are plenty of niggas in
No,
every
I'm sorry.
in every hood.
Negroes. Is that better?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Africans, Americans.
Coloreds.
I put
Whoa.
you like this. Put you like this, Alvin. This is how I put it like this. When your parents got ready to move from South Park, they looked at Missouri City first, and they kept going west.
Ain't that right,
guarantee
Chris?
it. I guarantee it. They looked at Mo City first. They kept going.
Hold on. So he gonna tap me.
My mama went straight to Club Creek. So I don't, you know what I mean?
She passed him.
I'm a see. I don't think so.
So first of all, let me go ahead and address my lineage.
I think we done, y'all. I think hey, so shout out to my people that was watching, PJ.
Shout out to DMV for watching. Appreciate
thank
it.
you, Brooke. Thank you, to Shauna. And so a whole bunch of others. Chuck, I hear you. Let's see.
I'm
Rick
that
Watkins,
in a couple weeks.
I got Steven Dixon, Taurus Lee, right? I got keep scrolling.
And on that note, guys, we done.
Robin Terrell, right? I got Monique Booker.
Cut your mic.
I got Aunt Carol. I got right. I appreciate all y'all for chiming in. Thank you very much.
Word like.
AJ,
Thank you,
right?
right.
AJ, I need to come get on your show soon. I got another book I'm writing.
Oh, that's right. He is an author of Married Man Rules.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off with y'all. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. I love y'all. I'm out. Okay. Right. So I am an author of a book called Married Man Rules.
Okay.
Right. And basically it's a light rule book, 100 rules on married life that men never knew. Right. So I don't know.
I'm gonna check it out.
What was it?
Somebody said his wife sleeping.
Right, so basically the book is like a rule that you didn't know until you got married was when you got married to your wife, you instantly became her chauffeur.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't argue that, right? You didn't realize how much you was gonna have to drive her. She don't even probably pick up her keys no more. Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's like one of the rules, right? Another rule is if you ever walk
Out of my house.
I get in the passenger seat.
When you with your wife, right? When you walk down the aisle, she instantly hates all of your exes.
Facts.
Right? That's another rule. Don't bring up none of your exes unless it's in a bad light. She stank. You know what I'm saying? Her titties went the opposite direction. Listen, something like that. You can't talk about your ex to your wife.
Then no matter how she looks, she gonna have something bad to say about it. You know, she might have been a supermodel, but she had a big ass head.
Yeah.
Like,
Her earlobe
So
stank.
it just got like 100 different rules, right? And I'm actually writing another rule. This was actually based upon the 4 Ps, right? Right? The 4 Ps of men are responsibility. 4 Ps. Anybody know?
No, not at
You
all.
even know 2
Not at all.
of the Ps.
Wait, hold on.
Think about
provide.
it. Okay?
Provide.
Protect.
Protect.
Yeah.
Just tell me, I don't know.
Well, those are the 2 really basic ones, right?
Okay.
I mean, what I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say a little X-rated though.
Well, no, pleasure is the last one.
Oh, I was saying pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
They wouldn't really say bucket. There's a whole lot less letters in there.
couple more S's.
Right? But it's provide, protect, potential, and pleasure.
Oh, potential. Okay.
Right? Because your wife never wants to settle. Your wife always wants more. Your wife always wants more. Your wife, men, right? When we get married, we're like, I'm accomplished. Now I just got to take care of my family. We just got to take care of my family.
Just homostasis at that point.
Right? But a woman married you for your potential. Right? They didn't marry you because of where you at now. They married you because you had the potential to go other places. And she's never going to let you forget your potential, right? I mean, think about it. You got her a half carat ring. Y'all got married because that's all you could afford. Do you think when she walked down the aisle with that half carat, she was happy and proud? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You don't think for a minute she was like, ready for the next ring already? How do you get the next ring? Because you have the potential to give me more. Oh, we going to Orlando for vacation. That's great. I really enjoyed Orlando. I really want to go to Jamaica. Why? Because you have the potential to take me there.
You got the potential to take your ass there.
Well, I'm just saying though. But it's actually true.
Right? Go see Mickey Mouse on TV.
So when people say, "Oh, you settled in your marriage," 9 times out of 10, it's the man that settled. He just takes whatever comes down the pipe. He just takes it. Right. This is again book number 2. Right. He just comes and takes whatever is given because he just wants quiet peace in his house. He'll take whatever punishment comes along with it.
Man.
Right. But she always wants you to provide and more. Just think about it. You in a relationship right now. Your girlfriend is laying next to you, giving you all the banana cream pie.
Banana cream.
And she ain't give you the banana cream pie because you doing a damn good job breaking her off. She giving it to you because you have potential to do more for her. That's the honest God truth.
Yeah.
Anyway, you just gotta start messing with married women, man.
Hey, it's 13-1. It's 13-1 out there. Yeah, you know, it's out there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Joe, the 4 P's is part of what the book is about, right? It'll be a funny aspect of how you look at it,
Mhm.
right? You know, I'll put a spin on it, but that'll be the next book. I'm kind of working on that right now, the 4 P's, because you already understand to provide and to protect, right?
Right.
That's a given. But the potential and the pleasure, right? Because again, what you ain't doing for your wife,
Somebody else is probably
somebody already that's my point. So it's just about the 4 P's for you to stay on top of the game. It's something that you need to think about as you go through year number 4, 5, and 6. Right? Just something to think about. That's all.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, it seems like we've definitely hit a lot. I want to thank my uncle for blessing us with as being the first guest on 4 Kings podcast. ENT.
Word life.
Damn. And
Appreciate that. Thank you, fellas.
we definitely did.
Over there.
We covered a lot. So with that being said, we're gonna
sign out. You know the motto. If you like us, raise your hands. If you don't like us, raise your standards.
and we out.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Have a nice night. See you.
Y'all come
Later.
back now. You hear?
Well, what you say? Hold on.
Bye. What happened?
I thought we had a conversation. What you say?
Wait, and all this time I thought she was giving it up.